It's our favorite complete recipe collection filled with mouth-watering homemade dishes featuring breads, breakfasts, appetizers, lunch dinners, and desserts. Get out your measuring cups, mixer, and chopping board. The Home and Backyard Cookbook begins right now. Welcome to the Swiftwater, a beautiful boutique hotel here in the Poconos, where amenities abound and relaxation awaits. You don't have to be a guest here to enjoy fine cuisine. Here at the Olivet Restaurant, you can experience an exquisite level of dining. Brandon, we are so thrilled to be here. Brand new, beautiful surroundings. We're so excited.
Absolutely.
And you're going to prepare something really fun for us, a perfect summer dish, right? What are we making?
Absolutely. So yeah, we're making our Greenwalk Trout Hatchery trout dish off our dinner menu. We're gonna start with seasoning our trout.
And that's a nice fillet. How many ounces is that fillet?
6-ounce portion.
Beautiful.
And what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this trout and just lay the skin side in the cornmeal. Kind of press it in a little bit.
So this isn't the type of thing that you would put like an egg wash on or anything
Nope.
before you just put it right into the cornmeal?
Right into the cornmeal, correct. Nice crust there.
Oh, excellent, yeah.
So as we apply heat to that, that'll get golden, crispy, and crunchy.
Nice.
We're gonna season it with a little bit of salt and pepper.
I like how you're kind of just bringing out some of the flavors with very like simple, good, pure ingredients.
Absolutely, that's kind of our goal. Simple ingredients done right. You're gonna add a little bit of oil to the pan. Then you're gonna take this trout, you're gonna lay it down, skin side down, and it's just gonna start cooking.
Okay.
We're gonna cook it about 90% on that one side. So we try and do this on a little bit of a lower heat. It prevents the fish from seizing up. It also prevents the cornmeal from burning. If you have oil that's too hot,
Right,
your
gotcha.
cornmeal is gonna burn. In this other pan, we're gonna start with some fennel, fresh fennel.
That has such a unique flavor too, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Fennel?
Yeah, a little bit of licorice flavor.
Yeah, yeah.
We're just gonna get some color on that, roast that a little bit. If you don't cook it all the way, it's real tough, it's a little chewy. So kind of getting that hard sear deepens the flavor.
Right.
And then you add your corn, that kind of releases a little steam and that's what makes it tender.
Okay.
Once you get a little color on the fennel, you're just gonna throw in some of this fresh Pennsylvania corn.
Nice. This is the perfect time for corn, isn't
Absolutely,
it? Fresh
sure
corn.
is. And a little salt and pepper again. All right, so the last component is going to be just this corn puree.
Oh, excellent. So what does that consist of?
So all we do is we take the corn, we cut it off the cob, and we simmer it with heavy cream, salt, pepper, butter, till the corn's tender.
Nice.
We blend it and strain it. So we're just gonna heat that up. So you're gonna start with the corn puree, the fennel. After that, your trout, nice crispy skin up.
Oh, Chef, it looks great.
This here is a house-made tomato jam. Cherry tomatoes, we roast them down,
Wow.
cook them with a little apple cider vinegar, some sugar, some cinnamon, and then we blend it up. And then we'll finish with some micro arugula. And there you have it, the Olivet trout from Greenwalk Trout Hatchery.
Chef, let's talk a little bit more about the dining experience here at the Olivet at the Swiftwater.
Yeah, absolutely. We have an outstanding dinner menu with fresh farm-to-table ingredients, local ingredients. We also have a lounge that has craft cocktails, wines by the bottle, wines by the glass, martini flights, Negroni flights.
And you also serve breakfast, and that's a big deal.
So breakfast, we're kind of trying to take some classic stuff and upscale it a little bit. We have the classics, the French toast, the Eggs Benedict, and we're putting kind of a modern twist on them. So we're kind of bruleeing our French toast, brown butter hollandaise for the Eggs Benedict, shrimp and grits.
Wow, you're really not going to find a menu like that anywhere.
No, it's a little bit of everything.
Yeah, it's great. And while dining, you can also enjoy the outdoors.
Yeah, absolutely. So in our restaurant, we have a floor-to-ceiling door that opens up, lets the outside come in a little bit. We also have a radiant heated floor, so we can serve people outside 3 seasons for the year. You can find us at 2060 Route 611, Swiftwater, Pennsylvania. And for more information, please go to theswiftwater.com. We're open to the public or with a reservation, breakfast and dinner, 7 days a week.
Terrific. Chef, thank you for having us. We had a great time.
Thank you. So did I.
cheese?
Yes, please.
We're here in downtown Towanda, and when visiting Towanda, you can't help but notice the Red Rose Diner. They have the best breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Join me and step back in time. Serving up everything from pulled pork to meatloaf to coconut cream pie, this town staple has been satisfying appetites for nearly 10 years.
I am what you'd consider regular. Matter of fact, if I'm not here a day, they think I died.
Oh, just the people that come here. You know, it's like being at home.
This is probably the epicenter of Bradford County. This side, we do all the politics up here. All the problems of the world are solved right in this area right here. It's true.
And while it may seem like the diner has been part of Towanda for decades, the Red Rose Diner actually got its start about 200 miles from here. Built in 1927 in New Rochelle, New York, it was moved to Stroudsburg and named the Lackawanna Trail Diner. After many years, it was briefly known as Jerry's, and at one point it relocated to Lancaster. In 2003, the diner was moved to Towanda and restored on the corner adjacent to the Keystone Theater.
Towanda is really a very special town, and the diner is truly the heartbeat of this community.
And no, it's not a train car. The original designer, Patrick Tierney, wanted to create a comfortable atmosphere as opposed to the seedy, converted train car diners of the day.
The thing that makes this particular model special is that diners in the 20s were primarily patronized by men. They would be near factories and places of that nature. So Tierney knew if he could encourage women to come into his diner, he had the potential of doubling his business. So above the doors is ladies invited, which is very nice. He added the stained glass windows and the little tables, the indoor lavatory and skylights, and by doing that, it really did increase the appeal to women.
And like every good restaurant, there's gotta be a good cook.
Betty was part when I negotiated the purchasing of the diner. I wanted to make sure that Betty was part of that deal. She has been recognized in this community for over 50 years. She's at her own diner.
Betty's been serving my breakfast for almost 40 years.
This is Betty's special. What do you call them? Knock them down, drag them out?
Get to going.
Get to going.
Get to going.
Is your name on that or what?
Yes.
Her name's on a lot of...
There it is, Betty's Get to Go and Breakfast.
Right. I'm not going to start any project until I come down and get filled up with some good food.
She is here 4:30 in the morning every morning, and rain, shine, snow or storm, she'll get into the diner, and it is really her customers she comes for.
And with my stomach rolling, I just have to try something hearty on the menu. Betty's own corned beef hash. Betty starts off with a generous portion of home fries.
And then we add chopped peppers.
And with the green pepper sizzling, next come the diced onions. This is a nice man's breakfast.
Yes.
Then again, I wouldn't mind that either, so. Who doesn't? The hash gets chopped up and mixed with veggies for ultimate flavor. The dish is served with 2 over-easy eggs and a side of toast.
Okay, this is the finishing touch.
Here we go. That looks really good. Oh, baby, look at this. This is looking good. All right, this is magnificent. The best corned beef hash ever. And I think I'm going to take this and I'm going to go sit in the corner, and I'm not sharing one bit with anybody. Thank you, Betty. You're like terrific.
Thank you.
It really is an experience when you come to the diner. It's a step back in time where people really can appreciate it. So when people come here, yes, they want real food and to enjoy it, and that's what we deliver, really traditional diner fare. But it really is the experience of the diner itself that makes it so unique and special.
If you're looking for a hearty breakfast, a tasty lunch, or a delicious home-cooked dinner, you could find it all under one roof here at the Barrel Restaurant in Springbrook. Well, I'd like for you to meet Mike Grimes, and he's the owner of the Barrel Restaurant. Mike, you have such an amazing menu, but you're going to pick one item for us today, and what is it?
Yes, our rendition of pumpkin soup.
Mmm, yummy, and what a perfect thing to have right now. It's so seasonal and cozy, so where do we get started?
Sure, well, first thing we want to do is heat up our pan.
Okay.
We'll add a little bit of our garlic butter
That looks good.
and our onions. Chopped up white onion. We're gonna let that saute down.
All right, so how long is that going to take, do you think?
Oh, just a minute or so.
All right.
Yeah, there's not a lot in there. I made this recipe for like 4 or 5 servings.
Okay, terrific. So
Easy to do at home.
we like easy peasy, but we want good taste, right?
Absolutely. You wouldn't think onions would go well with pumpkin.
I
would you?
know.
But it
seems
does.
So, yeah.
Okay, now I will add brown sugar, and that'll caramelize the onions a little bit.
Now we're starting to get the pumpkin spiciness in there. I'm all about the sweet stuff.
Oh yeah. Now you gotta really watch that. You don't want to burn the sugar too much.
Stirring continuously,
yeah,
right?
You're stirring continuously.
So do you have it on a real high heat or more of a medium heat?
No, it's a real high heat right now,
Okay.
but you just gotta keep watching it.
All right.
And then you're gonna pour in your chicken broth.
That's another thing I wouldn't think would go into pumpkin soup.
You wouldn't think so.
No.
would you? Well, I want to make sure everything's deglazed off the bottom of the pan, and everything's well incorporated, and you can feel it. You can feel the pan, and you
anything's
know.
on the bottom,
Yeah,
right.
and
Okay.
you want it all to be in the liquid.
Okay.
Now comes the pumpkin. Now this is basically pumpkin pie filling.
Okay.
Nothing fancy.
It's not sweetened or anything
No.
like that. All right.
And I want to get as much out of there as I
Yeah,
can.
we don't want to waste any of that beautiful pumpkin.
And then you just want to incorporate that.
All right. Soups are so popular, aren't they, here at the Barrel? I mean, you have so many just signature dishes, though.
Well, now that the weather's getting colder, instead of having 1 or 2 soups on the menu, we'll have 3 or 4.
And all your soups here are homemade.
Everything homemade.
Yes.
Now we'll add a little cinnamon and nutmeg mix
Ooh,
here.
That sounds
Put
good.
together here.
Okay. Oh, it smells so good right now.
Just like, it's like a pumpkin pie in a bowl.
It
And then a
is.
little salt and pepper.
All right.
And now we have one more main ingredient, the heavy cream.
Perfect. Nice and creamy. We don't want that to
Nice
burn
and
either.
creamy. Now that's when you start turning it down a little bit.
All right. Mike, tell me a little bit about the history of the Barrel, because you recently have taken it over.
Right, and I'm big on history. I didn't want to change it all that much. I tried to keep it as close to original as
Yeah.
I could. Well, it started out as an ice cream stand, and they had a small grill up front, a couple of seats, and they used to play movies behind the restaurant.
You're kidding me. Great.
And they used to play movies every Friday and Saturday night. People would come up by the carload. There's a couple of the customers that come in, oh yes, we used to watch the movies in the
That's
back.
so nice.
And it's just a walk down memory lane.
Yep. You could still see remnants of the ice cream place in the front, right where the windows are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's changed a little bit over time, but it's still the Barrel. The soup's basically done now. We could serve it as it is,
Yeah.
but it's very thin.
Right.
So now we're going to use a little roux,
Okay.
which is basically water and flour
All right.
mixed together.
Thicken it up a bit, right?
And thicken it up a little bit. And then when we serve it, I serve it with like onion crisps and sour cream. So
Oh my gosh.
it's just a lot of different flavors going on there.
Well, Mike, this looks fabulous, and I want to give it a quick taste. That is so yummy.
Well,
It's
I'm glad
creamy.
you enjoyed it.
It has a little bit of savoriness and sweet. Good stuff.
We offer breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Texas wieners, Texas hamburgers, a wide variety of specialty burgers, dinners.
I'll let everybody know you're open how many days a week?
7 days a week, 6 to 8.
Excellent. And check them out on Facebook and social media. And once again, it is the Barrel Restaurant.
And we're located at 881 State Route 307 in Springbrook.
Great. Well, thanks again.
Thank you.
And have a nice fall.
You too.
Thank you.
Enjoy.
Here in beautiful Wayne County is Beach Lake Bakery. This family-owned artisanal bakery specializes in European breads, pastries, traditional pies, cookies, and cakes. I'd like to introduce you to Jamie Woods, and she's the Vice President here at Beach Lake Bakery. And Jamie, thank you so much for having us.
Thank you very much for coming here.
We're very excited because we totally love baked goods and pies. There's nothing like a homemade pie.
So the piece of equipment here that you're looking at is a sheeter. Essentially, it's an electric rolling pin.
Okay.
And it allows you to have even thickness of your pie pastry.
Oh, all right.
Whether it be pie dough, croissant pastry, cookie dough, what have you. So right here, this is essentially a pastry block. Each one of these sheet pans makes about 25 pies.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. So I don't put in too large of a piece.
Right.
And depending on the size pie that we're making, whether it's a 9-inch or a 6-inch pie, I change the size of the block.
Okay.
So right now we're gonna make 9-inch pies.
All right, sounds good.
All right, shall I get to it?
Yes,
All
let's
right.
do it.
I'm gonna put a little bit of flour
All right.
on the sheeter. Press it down. This is the head. There's essentially a rolling pin right there. And we're
About
going
that.
to sheet it through.
That's nice. Nice consistency, right?
Yes. Go through again. I bring it back,
Okay.
just like that. And I'm going down a few millimeters at a time. You don't want to go down too fast or too slow.
Okay.
And it's elongating it, as you can see.
Yeah, that's really neat. Let's talk about the crust a little bit because it looks like you could see little chunks in there of...
Yes, very well put. These lighter parts are chunks of butter. And it's important when you mix the pie pastry, which we do the day before because it has to chill for like 24 hours,
Right.
that the butter does not get all the way mixed. Because
Okay.
you want pieces of butter in your pastry because that's what makes it so flaky.
That's the key.
That's the key. So if
Beautiful,
you're making this at
flaky
home,
crust.
right? If you're making pie pastry at home, don't mix the butter in all the way.
Oh, all right.
Keep
That's
it-
a good
keep
tip.
it flaky, yeah.
Okay.
Bring it back. I'm going down to 8.4 millimeters.
All right. And we continue this
All right,
process.
and that's that.
All right.
I'm going to open the head. This is the safety guard.
All right.
And then I have some pie pastry here from before. We never waste.
Right.
So when we cut out our pie pastry, which you'll see momentarily, you're going to have scrap. So we reincorporate the scrap.
Good
Not
idea.
too much because you still want to have the butter. The
Yeah.
more you work with the pie pastry, the butter gets smaller. So I'm just going to press it in like that.
Yes.
I'm going to increase the size of the head, 14 millimeters, going through.
Okay.
Press it down, then I go down to 8.4 again. And now I'm going to fold it to the size pie that I want to work with. It's
All
going to
right.
be a 9-inch pie.
All right.
So I'm folding the pie pastry like that. Here we go again. See those splotches?
Yeah.
That's beautiful. That's what you want.
Perfect. Okay.
And now as you're sheeting it down thinner and thinner, I'm going to flour it every time. And I'm going to roll it out. Now it's kind of elastic, so you don't want to tug on it. That's why I'm dropping
Oh,
it
I
and I'm
got
not
you.
pulling it, because it'll shrink if you cut it. So
Okay.
the idea is to give it space. And I brush off the extra flour.
Oh, all right.
And now I'm going to pass it over to
Perfection.
Lisa,
All right.
who is going to cut the pies to the appropriate size.
Okay, super. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
We're working with blueberry pies. So we're going to start with a base. And this is our base template. So we're going to cut around it here. And we're going to put it right on top of this pie foil, like so. Stretch it out so it's nice and even.
Right.
All the ingredients in our pies are all natural. We don't use any fillers. But these blueberries are actually from Maine. And we use what are called IQF blueberries, individually quick frozen. And the reason we get them is that they are perfectly ripe when they're picked.
Nice.
So we don't get any variation. They're always sweet. and they're delicious.
Excellent.
This pie is 1 pound, 2 ounces of blueberries.
Wow, that's a
So
lot.
it's quite a lot.
Yeah.
Then we have a little sugar and tapioca mix.
Nice. It's like overflowing with blueberries.
And then the last thing we do is we put a little bit of lemon juice on it.
What does that do? Just kind of give it a
Well,
little bit of...
yes, it gives a little bit of sweetness and puts it together, holds it together as well. And we're gonna seal around the edges so the blueberries don't ooze out along the side when they bake.
Yeah. You're like,
Now, what I'm doing here is it's called fluting, where you take your finger and you go along the outside, so you have your nice pretty border. If you were to bake this at home, you'd put it in at 375. We bake ours at about 325, 335.
Okay, and how many minutes would you put that in?
For about an hour.
There's so much more to the bakery, and I want you to tell everybody about it.
Well, yes, in addition to our pies, of course, we make our artisan breads. We have a variety, as you can see. Everything is freshly made, no artificial ingredients at all. And we are located in Beach Lake, Pennsylvania.
Yes.
We are in 2 farmers markets, Cunningonga Lake. You can also find us in Calico, New York, every Sunday from 11 to 2. And we are open every Saturday from 9 until 4.
Yes.
We also accept pre-orders on
good.
Sunday mornings, 9 to 12. And right now, for Thanksgiving, we are also taking orders. So if anyone wants to go online and order, or they can give us a call or email us, and everything is on our website. Thank you so much,
Thank
Jackie.
you. This has been so much fun, and this is just heaven. It's heavenly bread.
Well, now we can maybe dig into some pie.
All right, finally, right? Okay, thanks
All right.
again.
You're welcome.
We'll see you next time on the Home and Backyard Cookbook.